Just over 2 years ago, I created a profile that changed the course of this channel. And I decided I was going to upload videos of my progression on YouTube. The series was called the No Contraband series. This means I wasn't allowed to accept coins to buy things to make my progression easier. I also wasn't allowed to take free carries, which meant if I was too weak for a boss or a dungeon floor, no one would be able to complete or kill it for me so that my progression is quicker. I had to grind my own coins to get the proper tools and armor for certain tasks to make my own progression. And it turns out a lot of people were really interested in watching me do this. I managed to upload 84 videos on this profile, which may not seem like a lot, but I got a lot of progress done in every single one, and I was uploading once every week or so. This was my biggest series yet, and it pushed me to keep going, but not just for uploading videos every week, but to actually fully grind out the game. Let me take you on a little journey of how it went. I started off with the basics like unlocking bazaar, getting fairy souls, because believe it or not, they actually used to be useful. After getting myself coins, skills, and some knowledge, I jumped straight into dungeons once I was strong enough because I wanted to do the long grind of floor 1 to eventually drop and handle in floor 7, which I eventually got a few months in. Once I'd made Hyperion, I was pretty much ready to jump into Slayers, and at the time there was only Zombie, Wolf and Spider, which I managed to max out. I'd also gotten all the rare drops like Overflux and Warden Heart, and I managed to even craft myself a Warden helmet. By this time, a new Slayer had come out, the Void Gloom, which was definitely the hardest boss to defeat. Since I had good equipment, it wasn't long until I managed to defeat a tier 4 smoothly on my own. The tier 4 Void Gloom drops one of the highest selling drops at the time, which was called the Judgment Core, and I didn't have the greatest luck during my grind because it took me almost 700,000 XP to drop my first core. I managed to get 2 Judgment Cores before maxing out Enderman Slayer, allowing me to craft a Terminator and sell one. Alongside all of this, I managed to max out almost every single skill in the game, which yes, included mining, which in that time, I got really obsessed with doing nucleus runs. I would do 30, 40, even 50 runs in one sitting, but by doing it, it also gained me the XP I needed to hit mining 60. Get some rare drops, and cry over the fact that I did over 300 nucleus runs without getting a single alloy drop. I managed to get a skill average of 51.1 with only a few levels left for farming and foraging to have all max skills. I also managed to get over 11 billion net worth until 9 months ago I just stopped. I stopped uploading the series, I stopped playing on the profile, all without a single word to say. It was just left behind collecting dust. But don't worry, today I'm here to finish what I abandoned 9 months ago. I'm actually here to max out those skills because that's not like me. I don't just give up. I don't set myself a goal of reaching something or to drop something rare and stop when it's getting too much. No, I'm here not to just complete this profile, but to enjoy it again and love it again like I once used to. That's right, the No Contraband series is back, and my mission is to finish those skills, finish those Slayers, level up those levels. And today we're starting with the basics. I can't be running around with farming whatever, foraging whatever. I need to max them, and I need to max them now. So if you're excited for the No Contraband series to return, then smash like, smash subscribe, and use code cchloe at checkout in the Hypixel store, and I hope you enjoy. Alright, so since I'm here to max out all my skills, let me show you what I need to do. As you can see, I need to max out farming and foraging and carpentry. The worst one is definitely going to be foraging though. I have 41 million overflow farming XP, so I only need to get the gold medals to max that one. Foraging on the other hand is level 32 and I need the XP, so I started off by instantly putting down 29 tier 11 birch minions to gain passive XP when I farm for medals, so they're just going to sit there for a while I focus on farming. I haven't done much in my garden for this profile, so I started off by buying a few plots for the farm and fortune, and so I can build the farms that I need for the gold medals, which is sugarcane, cactus and netherwarts. Took me a while, but I made my farm, which I'm going to skip ahead because building farms isn't fun. But as you can see, while I'm upgrading my carry hoe, I didn't have my netherwort planted yet because I wasn't even garden 10 yet to plant them. I went farming to try and unlock netherwort and hit garden level 8. After that, I bought my fermento armor and a fermento artifact. I then hit garden level 9 and still had money left over, so I decided to recombobulate my armour because it was gonna need it. I unlocked more plots for the fortune and accepted a few visitors, and then finally I hit garden level 10 and upgraded all my crops to level 5. I then decided to sell my Fermento chestplate and buy a Fermento mossy chestplate because it was cheaper to sell and buy on auction than apply it myself. After that, I had enough medals to turn them all into a gold medal and unlock Farming 56. I spent quite a few of my bits on XXL storage upgrades to sell them on auction, and then buy an overgrown grass to apply to my Fermento pants, and by that time, I had enough medals to unlock Farming 57. Amazingly, Jerry was elected and he cycles through different mayor perks every 6 hours, which includes Finnegan. Finn includes 10% more players in each bracket during Jacob farming contests, which makes this easier to get golds, which is perfect timing. Speaking of golds, I finally managed to get a gold in sugarcane, so I got that out the way. I then claimed 2 gold medals and unlocked Farming 58. I tried a cactus contest to see where I was at with that, and I was way off getting gold, so I upgraded it to have Turbo Cactus 5 and recombobulated it. I then accepted a few visitors and hit a milestone, which gave me 4 more farmer fortune, and then got to work farming 4 stacks of mutant netherwarts to upgrade my hoe to a tier 3, because no way am I getting a gold with a tier 2 hoe in this day and age. I finished 1 stack, then 2, and took a little break to farm some mushrooms, and to my surprise I got a borrowing spore drop, which is worth around 10 million, but I decided to upgrade one of my equipments and put it on that, giving me 9 more farming fortune. A little bit later on, I found a spare cactus knife in my backpack, and since I had almost maxed one, I decided to sell it for 7 million, which sold for that much because it had cultivating on. I had another gold medal to spare, so I bought myself a fungi cutter and put a blessed fruit on it for farming mushrooms. I then went back to farming netherwarts and reached 3 stacks of mutants, before finishing all 4 stacks and buying Jacob tickets to upgrade the hoe. I bought another borrowing spore to upgrade my necklace, and then another one for my belt. I also realised I had no farming for dummies on my cactus knife, so I spent 6 million on 5 books to apply them, and then added dedication 3 to a netherwart hoe just before the netherwart contest. And as you can see, I wasn't far from getting golds in netherwarts, just under 50k, which with a couple of upgrades should sort that out. It may not seem like it, but Jerry was almost over and I had 2 final contests left with Finnegan, so it was now or never to get gold in cactus and netherwarts, or I'd have to wait for Finnegan to be elected on his own. So with minutes to spare, I tried to get as much extra farmer fortune as possible. I started off with buying kismet feathers to sell and buy my last borrowing spore to upgrade my bracelet. Then I bought some compost to unlock extra plots because they give 3 farmer fortune each. I bought more kismet feathers to sell and get enough for 2 recombobulators and recom 2 equipment pieces. Then again, I bought more compost to unlock another plot, and silly me, thought that I had to clean each plot before buying another one. Anyway, I bought more plots. Again, what can I say, I was just panic buying and unlocking for the most farming fortune that I could get, and I absolutely drained all of my bits for this. But it was time. A few more seconds and I was going to do the last netherwart contest. It was all leading up to this and it was now or never, so at 8 seconds left, I got the dreaded message screen. Server reboot in 1 minute, which means it would kick me to the hub during the contest, and at this moment, my heart sank, and I knew that I wasn't going to get gold in the last contest. And I was correct. It really sucks that that happened because I think I had it if it wasn't for the server reboot. But there was no time to waste, because I have 40 minutes left until the last cactus contest, and I knew I had this one in the bag. And I got it. Gold in cactus on the very last contest, which enabled me to claim my rewards and unlock level 59. Although in a few days I'd managed to get myself almost max farming setup and get gold in some of the most contested crops, I was still a bit upset that I didn't get gold in netherwarts, and I'm going to have to wait for Finn again, which could be a week or it could be months. So while I wait, let's do foraging. Woo! So I started out by buying a recombobulator for my tree capitator, so I'd get more XP when collecting my minions, because at this point I'd had them down for weeks now, and each minion had quite a few stacks in them. I calculated on average how much XP I'd be getting altogether, and I was pretty underwhelmed, since I didn't even get a full level from it. But I sold it all for quite a bit of money, so it made up for the lack of XP. For foraging in the park, I wanted to max my XP gain as much as possible, so I decided to rod swap. If you don't know what rod swapping is, it's when you set a pet rule to activate a monkey pet when you cast a fishing line, which reduces the cooldown of the tree capitator by 50% at level 100, making it go from 2-second cooldown to 1 second. And I set another pet rule to activate Ocelot when I hit a tree, giving me 30% more foraging XP. So pretty much you run around the park, hit a tree, cast a rod, hit a tree, cast a rod, hit a tree. You get it. And you do that for hours and hours on end. Trust me, I did it, and you do not want to go down that path. Don't say I didn't warn you. This is a dark, dark path. Anyway, I ended up selling my monkey pet since it was only level 58. And you need a level 100 for maximum XP gain. So I sold it for 20 million, and later on I bought a level 100 for almost 70 million. I was averaging around 600k per hour, and the money gain was small, but with the few coins I got, I started buying Jerry boxes in hopes of getting foraging XP from them to make my time less unbearable. But unfortunately, it turned out to be not very effective. Eventually, I did end up hitting foraging 34. This was only one level and only 1.6 million XP. It took around 3 hours, and only after this one level, I thought to myself, what have I started? But it needs to be done, so I pushed through it with every last bit of dignity I had. So sit back, relax, and watch weeks worth of hitting pixelated logs for useless stats. This is it. The last tree I'm ever gonna meet eye to eye with ever again. Foraging 50. Oh my god. I did it, and even though the chat was happy, I certainly wasn't. I mean, I was glad it was over with though. And there it is, max foraging level. And as you can see, I only need one more level for farming. And then I'll just do carpentry at the very end because it's easy. I honestly just made a quick montage for foraging because of how boring it is. But it generally was weeks worth of hitting trees into about 40 seconds, so you're welcome. Now let's get this last farming level so it can be over with, but it's not going to be easy because gold in Netherwart is nearly impossible. Here's the clip again from when I didn't manage to get gold during Finnegan. We were at 1,398 farmer fortune, so keep that in mind because I'm going to be getting a whole lot more. My whole time spent foraging, I had cookie boosters on, and I managed to get 164,000 bits. I spent a lot of them on kismet feathers to sell to the bazaar, to buy an overgrown grass and put on my helmet. I then give Stella 4 enchanted big potatoes and hit visitor milestone 8, upgrading all my Lotus equipment, and now I'm at 1,432 farmer fortune. Now Finnegan was gone, I was 100k off getting gold, which is miles away, so I'm gonna need a lot more farmer fortune if I want to get this done, and I've already spent 70 million. I proceeded to buy more kismet feathers with bits to sell to buy another overgrown grass and put it on my rancher's boots. And finally I had full recombobulated mossy armour, and then I hit Netherwart 24. I knew getting gold for Netherwart was going to be a task, but I was going to need as much farmer fortune as possible, which means I'm going to need higher garden levels. So I added a cocoa bean, wheat and potato farm for the milestones, and to complete as many visitors as possible. At 3,000 copper, I now had enough for 2 green thumb books, which I combined and put green thumb 2 on my Lotus cloak. After buying 3 compost bundles for 10 million, I unlocked another plot, giving me 3 farmer fortune, and then I did the same again. I was now at 1,457 farmer fortune, with about 70,000 netherwarts off for gold. So I bought more kismet feathers to sell and sold my sacks for 13 million, bought more compost and unlocked 2 more plots. If you think you're seeing a pattern here, then you probably are. Mindlessly selling to get money to buy very expensive things for little to no farming fortune. That's Skyblock. By this point, I'd completed enough visitors to hit visitor milestone 9 and get another 4 farmer fortune from my equipment upgrades. And oh yeah, I built a pumpkin, melon and mushroom farm, but I didn't record it. That just shows how brain dead I was at this point. I wasn't playing the game was playing me. But I managed to hit pumpkin milestone 18 and hit garden 12, allowing me to upgrade my crop fortune by 5 for 500 copper. I got another 3000 copper and bought 2 more green thumb books and applied them onto my lotus belt. And now I'm at 1486 farmer fortune. I then hit netherwart milestone 25 and sold my sacks at around 16 million, giving me enough money to buy another 2 green thumb books, which I put on my lotus necklace. I was running low on money so bad at this point that I started flipping green thumb books, because if I bought 2 for 15 million and they filled, I could sell them back for 18 million. Yeah, I was desperate at this point. I just wanted to get this done so I can get this video out. I mean, I started this project right after my last upload, which was nearly 2 months ago. I started saving up for a dedication 4 book, which was around 94 million because I was at netherwart at 25. And if I had dedication 4, I'd get 50 farmer fortune instead of just 25, so it'd be worth it. After an hour of farming netherwart, I got around 12 million coins and then hit milestone 26. My plan changed when I found a 100 million counter netherwart hoe on auction house for just 42 million coins. So I bought it and managed to get over 1500 farmer fortune with it. After that, I sold my hoe for just under lower spin, which was about 35 million, which means I got a hoe with over 100 million counter for under 10 million. The hoe sold a few hours later, and while waiting for that, I managed to farm a bit of netherwart, which I sold to the NPC, and I was back at 68 million. Still not enough for a dedication 4 book though, especially since it had gone up 30 million since I last checked. So my plan was to sell everything, which put me at 77 million. I then resold my hoe for 39 million. I claimed 4 free farmer fortune from my profile upgrades. I bought more kismet feathers to sell, and once my hoe sold, I was back up at 114 million, which was enough to buy a tier 3 recombobulated blessed netherwart hoe with dedication 4 and almost 600 million counter for 106 million coins, which I got all of that for less than 1 dedication 4 book would have cost me. So it was probably the best decision I'd made so far. And now I was at 1543 farmer fortune. And oh look, a netherwart contest has just started. Will I get gold? No. Still 26,000 netherwarts off. This contest is ridiculous. After sulking in the thought of why the hell did I ever want to do this, I regretfully carried on selling kismet feathers and buying green thumb books. But before my order could fill, I checked on auction house to see if I could get them cheaper already applied, and it turns out I could. So I bought a green thumb 3 lotus cloak for 28 million and sold my green thumb 2 lotus cloak for lower than lower spin, which was 24 million. So really, I just got 2 green thumb books for 4 million instead of around 16 million. I checked to do the same thing for the other pieces, but there wasn't any good deals, so I bought 1 more green thumb book and I had enough copper to buy another one, which I combined to put on my lotus bracelet. While farming for milestones to level up my garden again, I dropped a borrowing spore worth 7 million, which I sold and then claimed my coins from the cloak that I sold earlier. That was enough to get my lotus belt to green thumb 3 also. Honestly, all this green thumb talk will stop in a sec, I promise. But I had enough copper to buy 1 more, and I used the rest of my coins to buy another one, which got me green thumb 3 on my bracelet. And now I have 1558 farmer fortune, which is still silver in netherwart contest, but it was the last silver medal that I needed to trade in for a gold, putting me at 7 gold medals and allowing me to upgrade my farmer fortune at Anita, giving me just 4 more. I then hit unique visitor milestone 8, which is perfect for putting the green thumb books to use. I sold my sacks for 19 million, and I bought a green thumb 3 lotus necklace for around 30 million. I sold mine for 18, which made it about 4 million coins cheaper than buying the books. Now I was at the point where getting more farmer fortune was getting really difficult, but I was getting close. I then hit visitor milestone 10, which is 400 visitors, and may I add, without a single RNG drop. My necklace sold and I sold my sacks, which put me at 24 million, which was enough to buy some compost and unlock another plot for another 3 farmer fortune. And with a few seconds to spare on the next contest, I got to gold +1, which has to be the biggest troll ever. I checked the requirements for this contest. For gold, it was 1571 farmer fortune. And what was I at? 1571? Such a troll. Anyway, this was the last contest before the garden update. I was pretty devastated I couldn't get it before the update. I tried my hardest, I promise. The update made milestones a lot easier, so I automatically hit Netherwart 28, where I was at 26 before. I know, yeah, there is now weird creatures that appear on your farm and eat up your farmer fortune, so that's fun. But after weeks of work and an update later, I finally managed to get it. Gold in Netherwarts. Sucks I couldn't get it before the update, but it wasn't my fault. I just needed one more gold medal, which I got in carrots, and over 400 Jacob tickets, which cost me around 21 million coins. There it is, farming 60. This took longer than I ever imagined, so if you're thinking of doing it, don't. And oh yeah, I got diamond in Netherwart, just for your satisfaction. There's just one thing left to do now. Buy thousands of enchanted diamonds, craft them into enchanted blocks, sell them, and repeat. Carpentry 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, and 50. As for social, my island will be open if you want to help out with that. But I did it. Max skills on no contraband profile. I never thought this would ever happen, especially since I abandoned it for nearly a year. But there we go. Thank you for sticking around till the end. If you did, comment what's on screen right now, and I'll see you in the next video, whatever that is. You have to be joking.